Good evening, and welcome to the Chosen Book Launch hosted by Digital Citizens. I'm Aryav Sani, and I'll be your MC for the night. Now I'm going to let Aran introduce himself and the Digital Citizens Club.
Just give me a moment to share the screen. Oh no. There we go. We're good. Can everyone see? Hello
Good.
and sorry.
No, that's good.
Okay. Hello and welcome to the premiere book launch of Chosen by Suyash Dasgupta, hosted by Digital Citizens. My name is Arun Bafana and I am one of the vice presidents of the club. Oh, sorry. Yes. We are a service club from the Singapore American School aimed at supporting the Anandalaya Public School in Jharkhand, India. And as I said before, we are aims to support young learners by expanding computer infrastructure and encourage the use of digital tools to supplement their learning. There are currently 800 students with 5 computers and 1 teacher who has the skills to teach students. The pandemic as well, COVID-19 pandemic, has made a huge impact on students and teachers. Before COVID, our headlines were to provide at least 50 computers to the school and help them work on their computer skills. But now, because of the COVID-19 pandemic and having shut down a lot of the schools across India, we've had to revise our goals to focus more on building the digital infrastructure so that we can support long distance learning. Through this, we have had a lot of fundraisers, a lot of creative fundraisers. In fact, we've had a crowdfunding drive since August 2020, and we've raised around $10,000 to $11,000. We've had a Cook for a Cause, again hosted by Suyash Dasgupta, and as part of that, we have also sold 50 cookbooks and raised a total of $500 that have gone to the club as well. We've had Ludo for a Cause, which I'm sure many of you know is a very popular board game. We've also had an in-school fundraiser, we played chess tournaments, and we've raised quite a bit of money from that as well. And our newest fundraiser is this book launch itself. Now we will go back to Aryav.
Thank you, Aran. Now to hear more about the book, I'll pass the mic on to the author, Suyash, who has been working diligently on writing Chosen.
Thank you, Arya. Thank you, Arun, for presenting. I'm Suyash. I'm a 12th grade student at Singapore American School. Many of you are already aware of that. And today I'm going to talk about my novel in verse, Chosen. So what is Chosen? Why did I write it? Some of you who aren't familiar with Singapore American School may not know, but our school has this course called the Catalyst Project. Basically, it gives us 6 months to spend time on a passion we don't usually have the time for. And immediately when I heard of this project, I knew exactly what I wanted to do. I wanted to write a novel in verse. I was first inspired and I got into this genre in 6th grade when I read the book Crossover by Kwame Alexander. In 6th grade, SAS actually flew in Kwame Alexander too. And he visited and we got to see him in person. He really matched the creative, fun, uplifting style that his novel had. And I knew that I wanted to do something like that. Later, while reading other books, I came across this book right here called Long Way Down. Long Way Down is a book by Jason Reynolds, also told in a similar verse style format. But instead of being light and talking about fun basketball and interesting topics, it talked about more serious, real issues in a way that was still inviting, still familiar, and still easy to read. And that really inspired me. I wanted to write about some important issues that I felt need more conversations about, but in a manner that is quite easy to read, easy to pick up. No Shakespeare. I knew I wanted to incorporate music into my novels somehow. I'd grown up on books like Dr. Seuss and watching Bollywood movies that always had a soundtrack to them. I was thinking, since I'm gonna write 70 poems anyway, in the for the meat of the book, why don't I write two more in the form of songs, to try to more explicitly add in music connection into my novel. I'd recently been dabbling with music creation with my friend Anish, who's an avid musician, and I was really enjoying it. And I wanted to use this as a time to explore that passion because that's essentially what Catalyst is about. Um, and that's how the idea was born, a novel in verse with a soundtrack. But I didn't really have a setting, characters, or even a plot. I just had a concept, and so the idea started there. To prepare for writing these versatile poems, I started diving more into lyrical rap music, music with intricate rhyme patterns and music that I wanted to write. And I noticed a pattern in the artists that I was enjoying. For example, NF and Eminem, who were two of my biggest inspirations, both grew up in a similar region in the same state in America. And as I dove deeper into music from this region, I realized that they had a pattern. They all had this lyrical essence that I really wanted to create. And so I realized if I wanted my character to make music like this, I need them to grow up in this region, to be influenced by the same people I was influenced by. So that's the first step, that I got the plot. I got the setting, which was Michigan. Um, after Michigan, I knew that I wanted to write about some important issues that I feel aren't talked about enough, and just like long way down, bring them into conversation in some way that's easy to grasp, easy to read. And one major issue I want to talk about was male mental health. It's quite fitting that today is actually World Mental Health Day, but so I want to incorporate male mental health somewhere in the project. I also wanted to use a realistic fiction lens, so I wanted to make it something real. So I listened to what the artists from Michigan were talking about, and I noticed another pattern that a lot of them consistently talk about substance abuse, whether it was them, their family members, their parents. There were many images about substance abuse, and I knew that that's something I needed to add realism to the scope of the story. So that's how I got the issues that I wanted to talk about. From there, I started the actual writing process of my novel. I started, and I reached a big thing that helped me throughout this was a course that I took in 11th grade in SAS called AT Writing. And basically, through AT Writing, I was connected to Miss Ann Champion, Miss Jennifer Ann Champion, who was my mentor throughout this project. She helped me focus down a very broad idea that I had: substance abuse, mental health, and Michigan. And she really helped me funnel it down into the final project that it is. Let me now introduce you to some of the characters in my novel. So Chosen is about this boy, this 8th grader named Mason. He has a tough childhood. His father is an alcoholic. His father's an alcoholic who physically abuses Mason because he can't control his own emotions. In turn, Mason results to physically harm his classmates, resorts to bullying, which leads him to be sort of ostracized, doesn't have his own friends, except one, a kid named Jordan. Jordan is, on the other hand, everyone loves Jordan. Jordan is the poster child. He's the smartest kid. He's who everyone wants to be. Jordan is, for some reason, has a soft spot for Mason. But Jordan seems too good to be true, and he is as well. because Jordan hasn't grown up with the same childhood that Mason has. He dives into hard alcohol as well and drugs himself behind, even though despite his Christian upbringing, he goes into that sort of thing. So there's two sides of Jordan. Mason also has two sides. While he has this harder exterior, inside he really wants to write. He really likes rhyming stuff. He really likes English, and he wants to write, but he doesn't know how to share that with his friends, and he doesn't know how to share that with his father. His father is, as I said, physically abusive, an alcoholic, but everyone has reasons that push them into certain situations. So throughout the novel, Mason actually finds out the reasons behind his dad's choices, and that's the main theme throughout Chosen that I hope you'll read. So for now, a big inspiration for this project was my maternal grandmother, my Dima, who this book is dedicated to. While she isn't here to cut the ribbon today, I'll pass it on to my mother who launched Chosen. So here's how it looks. This is 8 months of work, thanks to lots of people. But for right now, I'd like to explain the music aspect of this project. So while a typical page looks something like this, it's not dense. It's not dense with words. It's easy to pick up. That was the whole point behind it. But throughout the story, there's one character who makes music, which you'll find out once you read the book. They make music, and those songs that the character makes in the book, I've personally, along with my friend Anish, produced and written and put out. And so while you're reading the book, you see that characters listen to the song, and then there's a QR code that if you scan, it'll take you to a place that will allow you to click on either SoundCloud, Spotify, Apple Music, or YouTube, in which you can go and listen to the song as the characters are listening to the song. Then there's the lyrics of the song in case you want to read along with that as well. And they play integral parts to the thing, as like Bollywood music songs do. Like they're the culmination of emotions that are going around in a scene. And that's what I've tried to do with the music aspect of this book. And so right now, I'd like to read a short snippet of the book, just as a teaser to try to convince some of you to maybe read the whole book. So the setting behind this is to showcase the differences behind Jordan and Mason's childhood home. So it's basically the relationships between Jordan and his mother, and Mason and his father. And while they both grow up in single-parent households in rural Michigan, how different life can be for both of them. It's structured as a meal. So the first couple of verses are the appetizers, the second is the main, and the third is the dessert. Appetizer. Jordan usually gets home before his mother, spends his time till dinner diligently working. Miss Turner gets back around 6, greets Jay with a kiss, then spends her time till dinner diligently working. The evening's full of verbal interaction, initiated by the phrase, "I love you," their favorite words. Appetizer. Mason walks in his house to see his dad sprawled on the couch, his natural habitat with a bottle in his mouth. An old football game the TV plays, next to the dust-covered trophy of Mason's Pee-wee days, some scattered CD trays. Between each play, the bear takes another sip until he empties another drink. Avoiding interaction, Mason tries rushing to his room, but his dad's too quick. "Get me a beer, boy," his favorite words. Main. Dinner at the Turner household often started with Jordan facing a plethora of dishes his mother had just fixed him. Holding her hand gently, he leads, "Bless us, O Lord, with these thy gifts that we're about to receive from thy bounty through Christ our Lord. Amen." They smile at one another, glare at the empty seat, then dig in, fill in each other about their respective days. Respect, as well as the aroma of warm food, fill the air, as well as some laughter. Main. Mason faces a week-old pizza, which he heats up with a few taps on the rusty microwave. His dad yells, a can held, "Get me another beer." Mason, silent with fear, takes one out the fridge. "Faster, boy," the grizzly bear roars, pulls Mason to him, almost as if he has a thread connected to his limbs. Then he pops the tab, stops and grabs Mason's hand, gives him the glare that silently howls, no talking back. Walking back, Mason slouches ever slightly, likely dreaming of the day that his father might leave. Under his breath, Mason utters, "All you ever want is beer." "What else is there to want?" His father sneers. "I want other things. I want to write, Dad. I know you're not the right dad to tell that to, but I don't have anyone else to yell that to." "That life never works out, kid." "What do you know, huh? All you ever do is just drink." "Hey, kid, keep that voice down. You don't know anything about me." "Why is that? Why don't I know anything about my own father?" Mason's father takes another sip, gulping down more than just beer. Yeah, that's the end of my segment. My paternal grandmother, while my maternal grandmother can't be here, my paternal grandmother, Tama, she is here. She's also always encouraged me to write. So yeah, that verse is dedicated to her. I'll pass it on to Aryav, who will introduce the next segment.
Thank you, Suyash. That was very inspiring to hear. We will now hear from Miss Ranu Bhattacharyya, one of Suyash's first teachers and someone who has helped him throughout his learning journey. As she speaks, please line up any questions you have for Suyash, as we will be hosting a Q&A after. Please direct any questions you have to the chat. I'll now hand the floor over to Ms. Bhattacharya.
Thank you. I'd like to start by saying what a privilege it is to be present today. I'm incredibly, incredibly proud of Suyash. The fact that I have been privileged enough to be part of his journey for so long and watch him blossom. This is an incredible piece of work. It's so deeply emotional, beautifully written, beautifully crafted, and it touches one in so many ways. Suyash, I don't know if you remember the first story that you wrote, where there was a prince and he had incredible powers, and every time he would face a problem, he would gain a new superpower. So you were working on the story, and your imagination never ran out. So every time there was a problem, there was a new superpower that he would gain, and he would be able to overcome this challenge. And the story went on and on for a while, and then we were talking about, hey, should we kind of maybe wrap up this story? But when I was reading this, I was struck by the fact that the way you've been able to hone that craft. And I was talking about, I was your teacher in grade 1. So it's been a long time since that prince with the superpowers, that first piece of fiction that we did together. And I was amazed by the way that you've been able to hone your craft and tighten it to such an extent that the characters, while they have these great depths to them, they are able to overcome the challenges, not with just superpowers, but with internal strength. And I think that speaks a lot about your own internal strength as well, and the way you perceive the world, that you don't need these powers from outside. It's all within you. And that's what I was struck by when I was reading the novel, and I was reading about Mason and Jordan, and how a lot of these answers are really within ourselves. And as you mentioned, today is World Mental Health Day, and I can't think of a better day to, to launch this novel. I'd like to congratulate you again. I'd like you to, I'm just going to watch your superpowers take off even more and rise and shine. And I wish you all the best. Thank you for making me part of your journey. I'm really overwhelmed right now.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much. We'll now be moving into the Q&A portion of the event. So if any of you have any questions, please just type them into the chat and I'll ask them to Suyash. All right, so the first question is, are there any future plans to continue Mason and Jordan's stories in a sequel of some sort?
Yeah, so as many stories with a sequel, there's only a sequel if there's enough demand for a sequel. So that's all out of my hands. It's up to you all. If you show me that there's enough demand for a sequel, then sure, why not?
So yeah, if any of you have questions like that or anything, just put them in the chat. What was the most challenging part to write?
This one's tough. I think I had the first bit done. I had the first bit done fairly fast, but it was more about I when I first started to just write, I wasn't aware of how I wanted to end this. So the most challenging part was was discovering how I wanted to end their stories and why I wanted to end it that way. I knew where I wanted to start. I knew where I kind of wanted to go, but I didn't know until a lot later how I wanted to end it. And yeah, I'm still thinking if I ended it right. So I'll take any feedback with that.
All right, I'll give it a couple seconds just to make sure nobody has any other questions. All right. Why did you pick characters in Michigan?
Yeah, so I picked characters in Michigan because I wanted them to grow up with the influence of the same artist that I was influenced by to make the songs that I did. I wanted them to have the influence of artists like Eminem in order for them to write the songs that I did. So.
All right, the latest question.
Oh wow.
Okay. If you made your novel into a movie, who would play your lead characters?
You did skip one, but okay. Who would play my lead characters? If I had all the budget in the world, Mason would be played by probably Logan Lerman, the guy who played Percy Jackson in the Percy Jackson. Yeah, I think he'd be played by him. I think Jordan's a tough one. I think Jordan, to get viewership, Jordan would be played by Michael B. Jordan. Why not? So, or actually no, Jordan would be played by the actor from Stranger Things. I'm missing Caleb McLaughlin. I think that's his name. I think he'll be played by Caleb McLaughlin. Yeah, that's a good question. We'll see if we actually have to seriously answer that in a couple of years.
All right. Your conclusion from your personal essay in grade 8 was this long paragraph. So if you want to read that, you can just read that. Reflecting back on your 8th grade self, did you have any idea that you would be here in just 4 years?
um, not really. In eighth grade, I really had no idea what I was going to do. I remember I was already interested in poetry by then. I was waiting for the poetry unit. Miss Windows can confirm that. I did like a small collection of poems before I was 13. So I definitely thought I would have done something to pursue that, but no, not a novel in verse and not song, not music. So yeah, thanks for that question.
And do you think your writing will continue even when you go to college?
Yeah, why not? I don't think it's something that'll stop. I don't. I think I'll keep going.
Mhm. And like there are two questions that are similar. Do you have any other ideas for any other books you could write in the future?
Should I give that information out? Maybe we should protect that and actually do it, and then you'll see. Yeah.
Most writers dive into their personal lives to create characters that resonate with their personal narrative. Is that true for your characters too?
Yeah, I was definitely told this while beginning to write my book, mainly by Dr. Clark, who's my AT writing teacher. But I neither are reflections of me completely, but I've tried to scatter across personality traits of myself into both Mason and Jordan. Um, and it's like if two parts of me were communicating with each other, two small parts of me were communicating to each other, what would happen?
What advice would you give to other aspiring writers?
I would tell, my English teachers would be proud of me saying this, but I'd say to read. I know that's yeah, like the best writers I know are the most avid readers that I know, and that's something this thing I struggle with the most when writing is coming up with the exact correct word to use. My vocabulary isn't as large as I wish it was, and I think that's because of the level of books that I haven't read. So I'd say it's that.
If you could pick only one between prose and verse storytelling, which one would it be?
For me, 100% verse. I love verse style writing. I love reading verse. I think because of many reasons. I think it's more easy to step into. Less intimidating, less daunting. But once you do get into it, it also does take lots of time to digest. I think it can have a lasting impact. There's a huge range to verse that I think just is breathtaking, and I would definitely explore all sorts of genres in verse. Yeah.
What has been your inspiration in
So
writing?
yeah, my inspirations were The Crossover by Kwame Alexander, as well as Long Way Down by Jason Reynolds. Those were my main inspirations while writing this novel.
I am in seventh grade and I want to write books. Do you have any advice for me?
For sure, read the genre that you would like to write, especially. In AT writing, we call it mentor text. Uh, read something that you'd like to write, and that helps a lot.
Would you always want to include social messages in all your writings?
I don't know about all, because that's a general. I avoid questions that say all, but most probably, because I feel that's the duty of a storyteller, to impart some change, and their opinions on large topics.
What is the impact you wish your book would have?
My book was written in order to strike up conversations about topics that are not being conversed about super often currently. So topics like male mental health and substance abuse. So if I can promote maybe 3 extra conversations that would not have happened without this book, that would be a dream come true.
Going forward, do you feel that this kind of verse writing is gonna be addictive to you?
Yeah, I'm definitely falling into songwriting. I really like songwriting, and just exploring the world of rhyme. It's fun. Rhyming words that some people don't think rhyme. Yeah, verse style writing. I have affinity for that. Yeah.
All right. That seems like it's okay. Sorry. Where or how can people buy copies of the book?
Sure. So currently in India, it's available on Amazon.in. If you're in Singapore, you can reach out to any of us, either me, my parents, or anyone in Digital Citizens, and we can get you a copy. For other countries, you can still reach out to us, and we'll see what we can do.
How did your mom inspire or motivate you to write the book?
My mom has always been pushing these little limericks into my life. Always on her friends will I don't know how many of her friends are here, but her friends will tell you that every year on their birthday, she writes this little like rhyming little poem for them, and so that's a big inspiration of mine. Just seeing her do that so religiously for her friends. So yeah.
All right. That seems like all the questions, I think. All right, so now we're gonna hear from Mr. Rituraj Kapila of the Academic Foundation, the publishers of Chosen.
Hi, good evening, everyone. So first of all, I have to say that I'm so impressed hearing Suyash today. Of course, I was much impressed by his work also, but the way he has presented it, I mean, the way he did his own book reading and the way he's interacted with us, it's amazing. He doesn't seem to be a first-time author, I just can't believe it. So absolutely amazed, and I think I am at loss of words to adequately compliment him for his wonderful effort. So as publisher representing Academic Foundation, I'm extremely pleased to be participating in this happy event. And first and foremost, again, congratulations to Suyash and his entire family, extended family, friends, mentors, everyone. It's a proud moment for all of us. Academic Foundation is a leading publishing house in India. Over the last 3 decades, AF has published works of innumerable scholars, eminent writers, promising young authors, professionals, and celebrities. We are happy to add Suyash to that growing list. We always hear the world is moving very fast, faster, smarter, and so on. A 12th grader becomes a published author is some indication. No doubt, Suyash has produced wonderful work, something that really creative, something which is very different, and it deserved to be published. But I wish to specially highlight that at this young age, he maturely interacted, understood, and went through the whole process of publishing, right from manuscript submission, signing the contract, responding to queries, proof checking, cover design involvement, knowledge and appreciation of fonts and typesetting, understanding all the nitty-gritty to finally seeing the book on Amazon, India.in. And now, of course, holding the center stage at his book launch. So he has experienced this whole process of publishing when most others his age, are struggling to even understand. They don't fully understand what publishing is, at this age. So it's absolutely a huge feat on your part. And I hope and wish that this book Chosen is read far and wide, and perhaps it starts, some new conversation, encourages debate and some kind of bold expression, inspiring many more young authors like you. And of course, I hope that Suyash, you yourself, for you, this could be a beginning of a whole new chain of books, as many of us, many of the other participants, they indicated, and we are all hoping. And I'm already dreaming, hearing you today. Who knows, one day you'll be, in the category of Pulitzer Prize winners or something, So I'm much impressed, and wish you all the very best for future. And Academic Foundation is always there to take up works like this, and we feel really proud. Thank you. Thank you for the opportunity as well.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Kapila, and thank you all for joining. As we wrap up the event, we will now play a song from Chosen. If you are in India, the book is available on Amazon.in. If you are in Singapore, we have hard copies of the book and are open to sending you any. And if you're anywhere else in the world, please feel free to reach out and we can discuss getting the book to you. Once again, thank you all so much for joining and supporting our cause.
Thank you for joining. As we wrap up, I will play a song, but first I'd like to give a couple of thank yous. First and foremost, to Miss Jennifer Ann Champion, who's mentored me throughout this project. A big thank you to my friend Anish Danoon, who helped me throughout composing the songs and playing all the instruments that you hear are live played by him. A big thank you to Avant Angelov, who's the rapper on the songs. I think he's portrayed the character Joe Green incredibly. I've been blessed with so many great teachers, and many of you who are present today throughout my schooling. Miss Ranu Bhattacharyya, Miss Windust, my English teachers in high school, Dr. Kane, Dr. Clark, and Miss Colorado, Mr. Capel is here. My Catalyst teachers, Miss Jensen and Mr. Longren, Miss Vidya Surendran from Boston Valley School. I'd like to thank Digital Citizens, Aran Arya for hosting, Mr. Rituraj Kapila for publishing the book today, the whole Catalyst PLC for funding this project. I'd like to thank Sarita Auntie, who has helped me throughout and fostered my love for reading. And thank you all for joining. I'll leave you with Chosen.
Yo, is my mic on? Let's get it. Yeah. Listen. Yo, I got a cadence picked out, ready to play with this sound. And I'm here to keep it real with you, not faking this now. Changes coming to this house, I'm gonna be raising a kid now. Kinda feel chosen and ready, the dad in me's awakened, y'all. Gotta make it to the prime time like Raven Blitz now, where I'll be on the devil's watch like Satan's wrist out. Been on the sidelines enough, I'm playing this round. Today every word's coming straight from this mouth. Look, and it's clean like I just went to the dentist. My pen is writing every sentence, making sure every letter is sharp as a tennis. Got these words embedded in your head, so don't forget it. A menace to society like Dennis. Got this flow so cold, these other rappers wanna rent it. But the only one I'm passing this on to is my apprentice, my son. I've never felt chosen like this. It's the only time I'm flowing like this. Yeah. I never let emotions write this. Am I the only man that's up in this fields? Yeah. I never felt chosen like this. It's the only time I'm flowing like this. Yeah. The only foreign chorus I sing when it's 6 mom, I'm holding my kid. I said, girl, look, I don't make enough, but with our hearts we'll make it work, yeah. I just gotta do some paperwork, then soon it'll be like paper verse, ayy. We just gotta plan to his date of birth. I can't wait to see my little Mason smirk. He'll be leader of the chill like a Lakers girl, cause I won't let him feel when he pain or hurt. Look, there will always be a smile on his face. Cruising, nothing putting him down like a ride in space. Mason, remember there's no high to be chased, cause we'll make sure that your food is always laced with love. You'll be raised with love, thank God it was a miracle you were placed with us. Lot of pain around us, we're erasing off. Kinda cheesy, just know that I'm saying this cause I've never felt chosen like this. It's the only time I'm flowing like this, yeah. I never let emotions write this. Am I the only man that's up in this fields? Yeah, I never felt chosen like this. It's the only time flowing like this. Yeah. The only fun chorus I sing when it's 6 months I'm holding my kid. I will listen, I don't wanna miss this, nah. I'm not trying to fumble it like fistics, nah. I just gotta handle the logistics, yeah. Then we smooth sailing like looking for fish sticks, yeah. I gotta write some more songs to play in my kid's crib. Nothing cheesy though, no, not like wrist crips. Feeling kinda high, heads off to these ticks. Following kinda tight, that's all my business plan. I'm a businessman, looking forward to my son like getting his tan. Right now I'm just trying up to get these fans, so these plans get my family out these forgotten lands. Listen up, I've never felt chosen like this. It's the only time I'm flowing like this. Yeah, I never let emotions write this. Am I the only man that's up in this fields? Yeah, I never felt chosen like this. It's the only time flowing like this. Yeah, the only fun chorus I sing when it's 6 months I'm holding my kid. The only way I'm feeling like this. The only way I'm feeling like this. Ain't no way I'm feeling like this. Ain't no way I'm feeling this. Yeah, the only way I'm feeling like this.
Right. That wraps it up. Thank you everyone for joining. If you like the music, you can find it on all streaming platforms. If you like the production, all of that, please check out Anisha's music, Combat, Kombat, on all streaming platforms as well. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you everyone for joining.